Good morning. Welcome to the 14th edition of Monday Morning Quiz from PQSI. I'm happy to receive a lot of new entries, new respondents for the quiz, especially MMQ 13 brought in a lot more new respondents. And not only that, for the first time, I think we had a lot of people giving right answers for all the three questions. And it was very heartening to see, and that to a quiz on process capability that we asked on the 13th edition of MMQ was very interesting. In that way, there's a lot of learning that's happening with every episode as far as we are concerned. So my back office team is also delighted to think and then look at what other topics on which we can bring in those questions. And we also, for the first time, declared that what will be the question for MMQ 14. I think a few days ago in my LinkedIn post, I didn't mention that this edition of the 14th edition of Monday Morning Quiz will have questions on control chart. So I'm sure most of you will be now waiting for the video to be uploaded in YouTube. And for those who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, they get that small advantage of responding to this. Of course, some questions could be straightforward. Some questions will probably test your understanding of the tool and your understanding of the scenario, so that you make the right judgment. So with these few opening remarks, let me get on with the process of the quiz. So let's go on to Monday Morning Quiz by Nanda, episode number 14, dated the 13th December 2021. So as always, the first agenda is giving you the quiz questions for this particular episode. And as mentioned earlier, that this quiz is on control chart. So here goes the first question. Question number one, as far as this quiz is concerned, of course, since the previous quiz, we started giving you a different format where you need to do some calculations and give your answers in the Google form that is available in the comment section of this YouTube video. So question number one, we give you the grand average, which is the X bar, which is 39.39. We've also furnished the average range value, which is the R bar, which is 4.96. The information that is also provided is the subgroup size N is equal to 5 in this case. So, and your task is now to calculate the upper control limit and the lower control limit values for the average chart. So that's question number one, some amount of work for you. So you need to calculate the UCL and LCL values, and that is what you need to enter in the Google Sheet. That will be the link for the Google form that will be available in the comment section of this YouTube video. A similar question, question number two, again on control chart. So what we have furnished is the NP bar value, which is 6. And the information is the subgroup size N is equal to 24. And we want you to calculate what is the upper control limit and the lower control limit values for the NP chart, right? So those are the first two questions. Moving on to question number 3. Well, interesting situation. A situation has been provided. An improvement team in an automotive OEM vehicle manufacturer wanted to reduce the number of defects observed during final inspection. The average number of defects observed in the process is 36.68. Find the upper control limit and the lower control limit values for the appropriate control chart. So you need to identify what is the control chart that you need to plot in this situation, and then use that formula for control limits and calculate the UCL and LCL values and enter it in the Google form, right? So take a look at all the three questions. some work for you, but I think the questions are fairly straightforward. And I want this quiz also to be a very high scoring quiz like the previous one. Okay, so with this, now let's move on to the explanation of the previous quiz, which was MMQ 13 that we published on the 29th November 2021. So this was a question. We had given you the X bar value, which is 10, the estimated standard deviation sigma hat, which was 1. And we did give you CP and CPK values. CP is 1 and CPK is 1. And the question was to calculate what is the upper specification limit and the lower specification limit values, right? Now, a CP of 1 in this case tells you that that's the first portion of, how we need to solve this problem. So let me explain how normally we solve this problem. We look at the CP value, which is given as 1. What does that tell you? It tells you that if you look at the CP formula, the formula for CP is USL minus LSL divided by 6 standard deviation. So that is equal to 1. In other words, it means USL minus LSL is equal to 6 standard deviation, right? So in this example, standard deviation value is given as 1, which means USL minus LSL is equal to 6. Okay, so that's the first clue that you get. So difference between the upper specification limit and the lower specification limit is 6 units, right? Now look at CPK value. CPK is also 1. So whenever you have CP and CPK as the same number, if CP and CPK are equal, the process is centered, right? So whenever your values of CP and CPKs are same, it tells you that the process is centered. So USL minus LSL is equal to 6 and the process is centered. So if the process is centered, that means, the grand average is 10 and, so it is centered with respect to the average. So that means 3 units this side and 3 units that side is what we need to have. So 10 plus 3 will be your upper specification limit and 10 minus 3 will be your lower specification limit. So the answer for this question is USL is 13 and LSL is 7. And as expected, it has been a high scoring round. So nearly 92% of the respondents got this answer correctly. And I was expecting that. And that's what I got, right? So moving on to the next question, the second question, a very similar situation. The only difference is instead of CP equal to 1, the CP is 0.5 and CPK is also 0.5. So pretty straightforward. So we follow the same steps. So CP equal to 0.5 means USL minus LSL divided by 6 standard deviation is equal to 0.5. So standard deviation is 1, so which means USL minus LSL is equal to 3. Okay, 6 into 0.5, which is 3. So the total width of the specification is 3 units. And if you look at CPK, that's also 0.5. So the same logic here. So whenever CP and CPK values are same, that means the process is centered. So the center value is 10. So 1.5 is this side and 1.5 is this side. So the upper specification is 10 plus 1.5, which is 11.5. The lower specification is 10 minus 1.5, which is 8.5. So that was the answer for the second question. So again, the 92%. I think everybody who got the first question right, they also got the second question also correctly. So 11.5 is your upper spec and 8.5 is your lower spec. So moving on to the third question, which was a little tricky. Some of you couldn't, get that question correctly. So same situation, the grand average is 10 and the standard deviation, the estimated standard deviation sigma hat is equal to 1. CP is 1, but CPK is 0.5. And you're given a clue here that the Z upper is smaller than Z lower. Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you were familiar about these terms, is it upper and is it lower? So probably that could be the reason why some of you could not get this question correctly. So CP of 1, again, the same logic as in question 1, USL minus LSL divided by 6 standard deviation is equal to 1. Since the standard deviation is 1, so USL minus LSL is equal to 6. So the distance between USL to LSL is 6 units. CPK is 0.5, and we have been told that the Z upper is smaller. So what does it mean? That the process is shifted. The process is actually shifted towards the upper side. The CPK is actually calculated on the upper side. That's what it tells you. When Z upper is smaller, so that's a side where you have problems. That's a side where you have probably the process is shifted, and you could probably have some rejections as well, right? So that's what it tells you. So what does it mean? So CPK is generally Z minimum divided by 3. So in this example, they say Z upper is smaller. So this example, Z upper by 3, Z upper by 3 is what is equal to 0.5 CPK. CPK is the minimum of the Z factor divided by 3. So Z factor here, Z upper is smaller, they say. So Z upper by 3 is what is 0.5. So Z upper is 1.5. So that means on the upper side, what does this tell you? On the upper side, only 1.5 standard deviation is inside spec. So which means 10 plus 1.5, 11.5. So that is your upper spec. So upper spec is 11.5. But if from the CP formula, we are clear that USL minus LSL is equal to 6 units. So if your upper spec is 11.5, so 11.5 minus 6, that will be your lower specification. So 11.5 minus 6 is 5.5. So this is the answer. So this is the answer for this question. So your upper spec is 11.5 and your lower spec limit is 5.5. So 75%, still a good number. Okay, so although for the first 2 questions, we had 92% of the respondents getting it correctly. Question number 3, 75% of all the respondents got it rightly. In fact, I know we had a lot of people getting all 3 answers correctly. But as always, the fastest finger first. So the top 3, the first 3 responses with the right answer for all the 3 questions, they were declared winners. And so these are the 3, respondents who were declared winners of MMQ 13. So Mr. Manigandan SR, Deputy Manager, Manufacturing Quality of Ashok Leyland, Chennai, and Ms. Anjali Ashokan, Manager Procurement, CEAT Limited. In fact, she's getting it for the 2nd time. And Mr. S. Ramesh, Deputy Manager Quality, Rani Brakes Lining, Trichy. So congratulations to, in fact, Ramesh also gets it, I think, for the 2nd time. Okay, so congratulations to all the 3 winners. You receive a merit certificate and a gift voucher of ₹1,000. So I know, in fact, I really I also appreciate Anjali Shoken and Ramesh for taking it as a pride to participate in MMQ. Please keep continuing this journey, participate, and then certainly, I mean, if you're the first 3 respondents, you also get a chance to win some good prizes, right? So now that we have declared the winners, so all the very best for your efforts on MMQ 14. I'm sure you'll all be waiting for this video to get uploaded in YouTube, and I'm also equally thrilled to see those first few responses. And I always look at and the first top 3, many times, of course, in the previous case, in the very first or 2nd day, we get all the 3 winners. But there have been some instances of quizzes where even after 1 week, we probably get only two winners, 2 respondents who get all 3 questions correctly. So take a look at all the 3 questions, spend some time, and probably sit peacefully in the evening, and then calculate the upper control limits and lower control limits for all the 3 situations, the 3 questions that we are given, and enter these values in the Google form, which is mentioned in the comment section. So all the very best to all of you, and look forward to eagerly wait to see the winners of MMQ 14, and also congratulate all those who respond to all my quizzes. Certainly, in fact, the previous one, I would like to congratulate all the others who also got all the 3 questions correctly. So, and I mean, as always, it's not just winning; it's all about calibrating yourself, calibrating your competence level, understanding of tools like capability analysis, control chart, DOEs, and all that. So with this, let me wish you the best of health. Take care. I mean, there are still, we need to follow the SOPs. Please follow. Please ensure that you maintain your social distancing, and ensure that you are always, wearing a mask. And take care. Wish you all very, happy, prosperous, festival season, Christmas and New Year. And of course, there'll be one episode, before that. So certainly, before the new year, I will also have the next episode, MMQ 15. So take care, enjoy the holiday season, and do continue quizzing. Signing off, Nanda from PQSI. Thank you.